guys to do the same thing, just to come into this space together. We'll just take a breath together and become present here. Very good. Okay, so welcome everybody. And I'm really pleased that you're here. Monday morning is a great way to start our week. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Candy. My name is Candy Motzek, and I'm a coach, and I'm a coach for coaches. I'm a business coach, and I'm a life coach, and I just do all the coaching with coaches. That's the only way I can describe it. So just a second here. Okay. So, hi, Renee. Nice to see you here as well. Nice to meet you. I don't think we've met before. So welcome. So, oh, now he's slipped off. Interesting. So I open up these spaces on Monday because it's important to me to start my week on the right foot. And I know that we need more coaches that are successful, creating the impact in the world that you guys can make. And it's my gift to you. And it's also a way that you can see what it's like to be in conversation with me, to hear some of the things that I might say. And so the other side is, if you're thinking of working with a coach and you're not really sure, this is a great way for you to be able to do that as well, to see who else is in this space, to test the waters and see, are these the kind of conversations that I like to be a part of? And if they are, I would invite you to reach out to me. You can do so just by hitting reply to any email that I send you, and we could just set up a time to chat. So, hi Asia, nice to see your little face. You've got such a sweet face. So the Google Doc that I placed the link in the chat, please go ahead and download it if you choose. I would highly recommend that you take that PDF, even if you don't follow along with it today, but use this every week for the next few weeks to assess how was last week, close off last week, and set your intention for this coming week. And so that's what we're going to do together. So I'm going to talk you through everything. Lots of time for you to listen to the question and write the answers. If you don't have a printer close by, grab a piece of paper or your journal and a pen, or open your own Google Doc and just start to type your answers. So we're going to start with the past. We're going to start by sort of reflecting on last week and how things went for you. Then we're going to move into the present, more like what challenges are present for me right now. And then how do you want to be in the future, just this coming week? So we're keeping this sort of bracket of time very limited. And the idea is that if each week you assess your last week and you think about what you're going to do next week, over the span of a few weeks, you're going to notice trends. You're going to notice the places where you're actually growing and you're not giving yourself credit for. You're going to notice the places that maybe you self-sabotage a little bit. And then when you're aware of them, then you can decide to shift them if you choose to. Or maybe you're not ready to shift some of those yet. Okay? I'm seeing heads. All good? Thumbs up? Yes? No? Pop in the chat. It's in the chat, Asia. You should be able to see it. And if not, do you see it there? The link? I'm going to pop it in there again because I don't know what.
I
Got it? Okay, good. All right, so we're starting with the past, then we'll move to the present, then we'll move to the future. It's not painful. We're just going to go through and we're going to deal with the questions all together. So the first, we want to start by celebrating and acknowledging and recognize what we've accomplished. So if you think about last week, everything up until the end of day on Sunday, what did you accomplish last week? What are you proud of that you did? And I'm going to give you some time. And I'm going to write also. give you another 30 seconds. Back to me. So I'm not going to ask you to share all of the things that you accomplished last week and that you want to celebrate, but I want you to notice where maybe some of the things that you resist putting on that list, you might only be looking for the big things, but there's lots of small things that you've accomplished that are great. And we're building that pathway to be able to remember the things that we actually accomplished. Now, if I showed you this page from my paper planner, you would be shocked and scared, I must say, because my writing is so terrible. But I don't keep a to-do list in the same way. I have accomplishments, things that I want to achieve during the week, and I put them on that list. And then they're always present for me. They're not like, it's not like write the caption for that podcast. It's things that I actually want to accomplish where I know I'm really going to move the needle forward in my business, where I'm going to be creating better ways of supporting my clients, where I'm creating more content or more value within my business. So those are the kinds of things that are going on my list. So instead of it being a to-do list, it's more of a to accomplish list. And so what I did, because I keep that throughout the week, as I was writing my answers to what did I accomplish last week, I went back to that page. And so, oh, sorry, just a sec. So not only did I go from my memory, but then when I went to that page, I was like, oh, right, I did that thing. I said I wanted to accomplish this, and I actually accomplished it. And so you might want to consider having something like that in your world. I like it on paper, in writing in front of me. And lots of times it's actually open on my desk because it's reminding me at all the times when I am working that I want to accomplish these things. These are the things that I've decided are important. And this is what I'm going to accomplish this week. It keeps it top of mind so I don't get stuck in the shiny object busyness. And if I put them on my list that I wanted to accomplish it and I don't, then I get to get curious about why not. Do I want to just move it to the next week or not? Having that list made it easier for me to fill in the things that I feel, hey, I did some good stuff last week. So, okay. So the next question for you is, what did I learn? What did you learn last week? I'm going to encourage you to take a couple of minutes and write down, what did you learn? Not just the tasks, but what did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about the world? What did you learn about anything? I'm going to give you about another 30 seconds. So I'll just share a couple of things from my list, and I'd love to hear from anybody who would like to share. So you could type it in the chat if you want, or if you feel so moved, you can come off mute and share, what did you learn last week? So I'll tell you two things that I learned last week, is that once I get going on something, I am consistent. Like once I start, that's it. Like I'm committed and I am consistent. And I think sometimes I forget that, like my true consistency and how much of a strength that is. And then another thing that I learned is that, and I know this might sound funny because I learn it every single week, is I love coaching. I absolutely love coaching. Every day I just love it more and more. How weird, right? But it's in that practice, in coaching my clients and in conversation with my clients. It really, it is so inspiring to see what other people are creating in their life, and just that connection and supporting them and encouraging them and challenging them, I find very, very satisfying. So that's something that I learned. And I learned it last week too, but this week I learned it again. What do you guys have to say? Do you want to say something, or do you want to type something quick in the chat? Either way is good for me.
Something that I learned is that I need to be more strict about my time and my boundaries.
Okay, good. That's cool. Good learning. Anybody else?
Okay, so Candy, I learned this week how much it costs to do an MBA. That's a big deal.
Yes. It costs less to do an MBA than an EMBA. I'm going to tell you that. Yeah. Anybody else? Daniel, love to hear from you.
I learned not to be stressed out over the things I have no control over.
Yeah, good work. Oh, did you put that on your accomplishment list too?
Yeah, I did.
Good. Good work. Oh, excellent. Beryl Ann, what about you? What did you learn?
I learned that if I practice mindfulness, I could easily reframe my thoughts.
Very good. Good work, you guys. Okay. So let's go on to the next question. Now we've considered the things that we've learned and what we accomplished and what we will celebrate. Now let's look at the UFO, the unfinished business, unfinished objects, areas for improvement. Something that I wanted to accomplish but didn't. And I don't want you to create a giant grocery list here. I want you to just one or two things. I wanted to accomplish this and I didn't. Now, this is not on the handout, but I have to ask you, and I want you to answer just for yourself. So why? Why didn't you create that last week? Why didn't you accomplish it? Write your answer. You might be surprised. You have time to answer the question. Why didn't I accomplish that? I'm just seeing thoughtful faces. And one of the reasons that I like that question, the why didn't I accomplish it, is it reminds me how much I really am in control of in my life. Sometimes it's really easy to say, well, I didn't accomplish it because something happened or somebody said something. But the more that I remind myself that it's up to me to create the things that I wanted to, that I intended to, and the more powerful I feel. And I know there are so many things in the world that we have no control over, but there are some things we do. And those are how we think, how we feel, and very, very often what we actually do or don't do. Next question, and we're still in the past thinking about last week. 3 things that could have made last week even better. What 3 things would have made last week even better? And they could be fun things too, not just all hard work stuff. What are you learning? Are you ready to close off last week? Pop in the chat. I'm ready to close off last week. I'm ready to release last week. Thank you, Asia. I'm ready to release last week. Very good. I'm ready to release last week. Daniel, okay, hell yeah. Right. Was last week a good week for you, Daniel? And it's just like, I'm done, like, we can't change that past, right? So.
It was mixed last week.
Okay, all right. It's time for it to be done and gone, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It can just be like the dust on our shoes. All right, so now let's move into the present. So we're going to talk just a little with ourselves about current challenges and obstacles. One challenge I'm facing, and I don't want you to come up with a whole bunch of challenges. One challenge. Part of this is rewiring us so that we're not always so focused on our problems, right? I'm not going to give you too long to focus on that one. Now, thinking about that one challenge, if money were no object, how would I fix that challenge? Maybe another 15 seconds. All right. Next question, and this is just in relation to that one challenge that you identified. What is my first step to fixing it? That's the first thing that you can do. Take a second and look at that first step. Is that something really doable for you? Could you do that this week? Or is it such a big project that you're like, oh boy, that's a whole nother thing and a half? That first step. We're still in the present. How might this challenge be encouraging me to grow? And to go along with that, I would be asking you, who do I need to become? So ask yourself that question. To overcome that challenge, who do I need to become? And we're talking the qualities. Are you highly focused? Are you committed? Are you relentless? Are you resourceful? Can you find somebody to help you? Who do you need to become to overcome this challenge? And I'm not going to stop you. I'm just going to add on the next question is, what do I need to learn? Yeah. Last question for the present. What decisions have I been avoiding? And now if you're looking at the handout, you're going to see that there's like almost a whole page there. You don't need to fill the page, but lots of times these unmade decisions, or where we lightly make a decision and then we continue to second guess ourselves, it burns so much of our energy being in this indecisive or second guessing place. So when you know what decisions you've been avoiding, then you can start moving towards, do I even need to make that decision? Is it really even important? Or have I just been distracting myself? Or is there a place that I'm not committing to myself? So what decisions have I been avoiding? Love to hear from you. Just one. What decision have you been avoiding? You guys can type it in the chat. You can come off mute and share. And let me start. Oh, Asia, thank you. Being vulnerable. Yeah, I hear you. Takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable. And I think we all can feel that. Daniel, not listening to my heart. Mine is a little bit more practical. I'm in the indecisive. I've got a group cohort that I will be launching to work with coaches to create and build a basically by referral only practice. And I'm being indecisive about when I'm going to launch it or what date it will start. By being indecisive about that, it means that I never actually offer it to anybody. So there we go. That's my thing. That's my thing I'm working through. Not listening to my heart. Yeah, being vulnerable. What else? Talisha, will you pop something into the chat there? Beryl Ann, yourself as well. I'd love to hear from you guys.
What was the question, Candy?
The question was, what one decision have you been avoiding? Yes, Asia also launching. Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's
Launching
the
and
same
vulnerable.
thing with me.
Talisha,
Vulnerable.
yeah, vulnerable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Putting myself out there.
Right. Yes. And, you know, and I mean, this isn't part of the handout, but isn't it interesting that there's that theme here, you know? And I'm hoping that by you hearing other people saying something similar, like saying, you know, hearing Daniel type, not listening to my heart, hearing Asia write, being vulnerable, Asia, for you to hear Talisha say those words as well, that helps you to go, oh, I'm not alone. It's not just me. Yeah. All right. Okay. We're done with the present. We know the challenges. We know how we could grow. We know about unfinished decisions or unmade decisions. Now let's move into the future. So, what are your top 3 priorities for this coming week? And now when we're talking about a priority, we're talking that if we were talking next week and you were like, I said to you, what are the things that you accomplished? You would be like this and this and this. So what are your top 3 priorities for this coming week? I don't want to stop you, but of those 3, what is your absolute top priority? That one thing that if you did that, it would make all the difference in the world. What is your number 1 top priority? Daniel, I agree. Getting ready for 10 conferences. Super cool. Everybody else, what is your top priority? I want to hear from you in the chat or by voice. Either is fine. Your top priority. Do better with planning social media and better establishing my brand. Cool, Asia. I hope you don't mind if I tweak your priority there, Asia. And Talisha, getting back to the office, kids are home on vacation. Good. Cool. Nice priority. As a coach, our priority is always something that is either going to move us into creating more value for our potential clients or existing clients, or creating more clients. So Asia, if I said that to you and you looked at your priority, is this on that path of I'm creating more value for my community, or I'm creating more clients themselves? I would just ask you to have a little thought there. Carol Ann, I'd like to see you in the chat too. Come on and type in there.
For me, Candy, it would be I want to work on content to launch my coaching business.
Good. Okay. Excellent. That's top priority. And so when I was tweaking Asia's priority about, are you creating value for your potential clients, or are you creating clients? Those kind of are the same thing in some ways. Creating content for your coaching business is definitely creating value. Okay. And for Asia as well, it could be like, she has an amazing way of connecting with people on social media. I just wanted to give her that little bit of a double check. Excellent. Thank you for sharing, you guys. All right. Now we're going to wrap it up. You know what your priority is. And just pause for a second and think, if we were having this conversation this time next week and I had done that, how would I feel? Will you feel satisfied? Will you feel accomplished? Will you feel solid? Will you feel like certain, like this is really making a difference? Or will you feel, oh, it's not enough? Will you feel insufficient? Will you feel like, if only, that graspy feeling like, well, if only I could do this more? I would just encourage you to think about that for a couple of reasons. The first off is, when we set our priority, we want it to be something really meaningful. So there's from that perspective. And then the other place is that a lot of high achievers, we never allow ourselves to actually appreciate what we've actually accomplished. And I'm using that actually word like intentionally. Okay. So when you go back next Sunday evening or Monday morning and you look at this one top priority and you look at it, and if you did it, I want you to make sure that you appreciate what you accomplished, that you don't use it as just like another place that you skim the surface and you don't give yourself that satisfaction. Because these week to week, day to day, moment to moment things that we do, when we feel accomplished and meaningful and fulfilled and on purpose and impactful, and we're valuable and valued, that is how we create a satisfying business, a satisfying life. So the future you will feel satisfied and fulfilled and on purpose because the current you practices that feeling and appreciation now, not because of the result that you create, but because of who you are all along the way. So just kind of giving you some thoughts there. And then so finally, for the future, what is your word for the week? Now, it can be anything, and something may have popped into your head already. It can be an emotion, it can be committed, goal-oriented, focused, motivated, it could be relaxed, it could be peaceful, all kinds of things. Opportunities, good. Intentional, good. Love it. For me, I'm going to continue on with committed. Committed is really working nicely for me these days. I make a choice and I commit. Time. Okay, good, good, good. Beryl Ann, you're the only person we haven't heard from. I want to hear, meaning valuing your time more. Oh, cool. I love that. Valuing your time more.
I would say action.
Action. Okay. Good. All right. Well done, everyone. So was this a useful way for you to start this week? Do you feel like you've got a bit of a compass now on, like, as soon as we hang up from this call, have you got a compass about exactly what you're going to do, exactly how you're going to move forward? That's what I want to hear. Felicia, I'm seeing some head nods. Daniel, I'm seeing you considering. Asia, I can't see you at all, so I have no idea. Beryl ditto, I can't see you at all. I can only see your name. Okay, got a thumbs up. Lovely. Thumbs up. Good, 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 good. Okay. How will we close the call? Let's see. Yeah, I think that the way to close this call is just for you to take a moment before you dive back into your day and appreciate that you took this time for yourself. You know, sometimes we get so busy thinking that I got to keep go, busy, busy, busy all the time. And taking just this 35, 40 minutes to just take a breath, plan your week, consider where you are, being intentional will make so much difference to what happens afterwards. So just thank yourself for showing up for yourself and really, you know, choosing to use your time well, just like Asia was saying, valuing your time more, investing in yourself with your energy and your time to create this week. All right. I'm so glad you guys were here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. I hope to see you then. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Candy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.